Welcome to the Jeff Fitzgerald Football Show. I'm Mike Downhour. With me, head football coach Jeff Fitzgerald. Coach, the season is here. And before we talk about the Jamboree and everything coming up, let's look back at off-season. What happened in off-season? Kind of take us up to this point where we are right now.
You know, we have a great group of seniors that have come into this season and have really taken control of the football team and taken ownership of it, just from everything from breakdowns that we do at practice to the way we stretch. What they break it down on, something we've been harping big on is one team, one family. Really excited about this group of seniors and this football team and the leadership that they're showing right now. So I think that that's probably one of the biggest things that coming into the season that we had in the off-season or the out-of-season program.
All right, and the other part I wanted to ask you about was the Jamboree. Going into the Jamboree, you guys had, you had some momentum and you got to see the two games ahead of you, but how did that affect your guys to finally step on that field officially for the first time?
It was very good for us, and we came out of the scrimmage feeling pretty good about it. In the scrimmage, we had a slow start, finished really strong, and then in the Jamboree we picked it up a little bit more in the beginning. Obviously, we gave up a big run at the very beginning they ran a little counter play, and
Well, that's why there's jams.
It is, and we were so excited that we ran up the field and they cut it up underneath us, and just a couple of mistakes. But the thing that really fired me up on that play was, man, we hustled, and we had all 11 dudes at the football, and Tay Carey made a tremendous tackle. He got blocked in the back, got back up, and then went and made the tackle to save the touchdown. So that was huge, and then we played really well, really good defensively after that. Got off to a little bit of a slow start offensively, but I think that was the fact that, Jabari hadn't played or practiced. He missed the scrimmage.
Right. He's
missed every practice and only been able to do a little bit because he hadn't been able to throw the ball. So I think that played a big factor in it. And so he had some jitters going on, and the lights were pretty bright. The stadium was quite a bit bigger than what we normally play in, and so all in all, I was very, very pleased with it.
Well, looking at all the guys and calling some new names on the radio was a little bit different. You got the Planet Fitness Freak of the Week. Tell me who your offense and defense Freak of the Week is.
Our Freaks of the Week this week were Josh Newton, number 2, played wide receiver and had blocked his tail off. Threw him a couple of balls. They were a little bit high, and that's his cousin at quarterback. And
okay.
They were a little bit upset with one another, but both of them great, high-character young men, and worked their tails off and really got after it. But the thing that Josh has gotten a lot of attention from colleges, and the thing that every college has talked about is, man, we want to see him when he doesn't have the ball in his hands. What's he going to do when we're not throwing in the football? And he has really kind of been playing with a chip on his shoulder, working with a chip on his shoulder to prove that he is the player that we believe he can be. And he did a tremendous job of blocking on the edge and securing it for us. I mean, it was evident in Dylan Roberts, 2 of his runs. Josh made the block to spring Dylan down the sideline for about a 75-yard run and touchdown. It got called back, but hey, that's okay.
Still looks good.
It looks great, and it showed some character that we could fight through that adversity. And then he made the block to spring Dylan on the touchdown run there in the second quarter or second half.
And your second Freak of the Week is?
A guy that has played 3 positions in 4 years and spent his life in our JV developmental period, and done a tremendous job. Probably never says a single word. Goes to work every day, and that's Kurt Hill.
Mm-hmm. We called his name several times as well.
A ton of times. When I tell you he hit the dude in the mouth and made the tackle, sacked the lineman and the quarterback a couple of times, the guy really did a tremendous job.
Regular season starts this coming week, and we'll talk more about that coming up on the Jeff Fitzgerald Football Show, brought to you by Slagle McGuffey Remax Realty.
Hi, I'm Matt Bridges, owner of 3B Outdoor Equipment, alumni and proud supporter of Ouachita Parish High School Lions. Here at 3B Outdoor Equipment, we offer several lines of outdoor power equipment, including X-Smart, Echo, and Red Max. We also carry Honda outdoor power equipment for all your tailgating needs. Come see us at 3B Outdoor Equipment at 2528 Ferrand Street, Monroe, Louisiana.
Welcome back to the Jeff Fitzgerald Football Show, brought to you by Barry Collins and CFM Enterprises. Coach, it's week number 1, and that again means the Richwood Rams. You have, defeated the Rams every single year. This year's a little different. These guys are senior heavy, talented, very talented, and it's not that same Richwood team.
No, it's not the same Richwood team, and they return, I believe, everybody back. They may have lost 1 or 2 players last year at best, but I believe they got everybody back coming, on last year's team. And it was an extremely close game at half last year, and then we were able to pull away in the third quarter and do some really good things. But man, they're super talented. I believe they've got 4 Division I commitments and a really, really good squad. And they've had a lot of success coming into the season, with the scrimmage that they had and then the jamboree that they've had. And so it's obviously an in-town neighborhood rivalry.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're talking street credit, the works.
Well, let's talk about a little bit about their defense. You've got some big guns on offense. They seem to have theirs stacked on defense. So that's going to be a big battle coming up. How do you see that playing out? What kind of defense do they run?
Man, they're going to line up in a multiple defense. They'll give us a 4-3 look depending on how many guys we've got in the box. They'll slide to a 4-2-5. They've got a little 3-man front package. Extremely multiple. But the thing that locks them down is they've got those 2 linebackers in the middle.
Right.
And they can shaw enough play ball.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're good. They're pretty good hands. Then they've also got their kick returner, corner, safety,
Caesar,
wide receiver. Does everything. And so it's going to be a challenge for us.
Offensively, what do you expect out of the Rams tonight?
They're going back to more of a spread mentality. They've gone from spread to being kind of a Notre Dame box style offense to back to the spread. They've got the big tight end receiver, Spivey, and they got a really good quarterback and a running back that'll go get after it. They got a kid that plays defensive end, tight end, number 90, that is a really good player, and so we really expect them to be in kind of a one back, one tight, one back, 2 tight set, spread it out and running some one back power, some inside outside zone, and slinging it around off of that.
One thing we talked about post-game at the Jamboree last week was you've got the toughest schedule I have ever seen a Ouachita team have. And I believe you said that whoever made that schedule should get punched in the mouth.
They should, yes.
But it was you.
Yeah, it was.
Talk about that schedule.
I probably need to be definitely punched in the mouth and maybe slammed to the ground a little bit to get my attention. But, everybody wants that guaranteed win. And if you're a mid-level team, then you want that guaranteed win for the playoffs, and you're not willing to play a team that has traditionally been pretty salty. And so what ends up happening is you have a bunch of really good football teams left out, and you have to play each
Week
other.
after week after week. No real off week.
That's right. And I can promise you, Sulphur didn't want to play us, and we didn't want to play them. Plaquemine didn't want to play us, and we didn't want to play them. Same thing with Carencro. We are very fortunate that Richwood wants to play us every year, and extremely thankful that they want to play us to help us put a schedule together. Otherwise, I guess we'll be traveling all over the state of Louisiana like we are. It'd be just a little bit worse. But I couldn't imagine being Neville, where you only have 3 teams in your district.
Right.
Or
right.
Bastrop, 3 teams in your district. And so it's got to be tough on those guys. But we're very fortunate to have a 6-team district and to at least be able to fill up half your schedule with district games, because if we had to do more than that, man, I don't know what we'd do. It was an absolute struggle getting this schedule put together with teams like Sulphur, who's a second-round 5A playoff team. Then you've got a Plaquemine that is a quarterfinal 4A team, and a Carencro that's a quarterfinal, semifinal 4A team. It doesn't matter if they're 4A or 5A, they're always in there. And then obviously Neville, who either wins it in 4A every year or state runner-up. So we've definitely got our work cut out for us, and I don't mean this in a cocky, arrogant way, but I really like our football team. And I'm willing to play anybody, anywhere, anytime with these dudes. And they've got good attitudes. We're not the most talented team, but the thing is, we're a team with some heart and some work ethic that are going to go get after it and hit some people in the mouth.
We'll specialize on different players all throughout the year here, but right now you have an all-new kicking game. And didn't look too bad in the punting department with a freshman Shaw out there. He had 4 punts for a 38-yard average, with all that coming at him. Tell me a little bit about punting and kicking.
Well, we definitely replaced our entire kicking crew. And But we do. We have Zach Shaw at punter, does a tremendous job, punted in the junior high. And basically, we held tryouts and said, okay, and we did it at kicker. We did it at for kickoffs, for extra points, and for punting. And he's our punter. Josh Newton's our backup punter. And so both of those we feel like are going to be more than just a punting threat. You know,
They could run.
Zach can sling it. And he's our freshman quarterback, plays JV quarterback. He's also a backup varsity quarterback. And so he's got more of a threat. I mean, he can sling the ball around a little bit. And then obviously Josh can run it at any time. And so we feel like that's going to hold up our rush, give us a time to get a good kick. And if they do want to bring the house, then, you know, then we sets up an opportunity for a fake. But it definitely made that a little bit more secure to have a guy back there that's more than just a punter. And then in our kicking game, as far as kickoffs, we've got, it's funny that two guys that both play running back ended up being our kickers, but they also play soccer as well. But Nick Stewart is our backup kicker, and then Chauncey Lewis came out of nowhere.
Sophomore.
And can boom it, and has done a really good job in the kicking game. And then as far as our extra points, obviously Chauncey was kicking our extra points for us in the Jamboree, but Adam Al-Nassif is a guy that has kicked for us in the scrimmage. So, and both those guys, Adam being a soccer player. But we're really excited about it. They're all being coachable, and it's it's a fun group of kickers to coach.
Well, sounds like a good one, and we're looking forward to tonight's game against Richwood. You have been tuned in to the Jeff Fitzgerald Football Show, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.